In a world increasingly grappling with the impacts of stress, burnout, and anxiety, the pursuit of mental health solutions has become more urgent than ever. While conventional treatments often emphasize therapy, medication, and mindfulness practices, one intriguing question remains: could hedonism, our natural pursuit of pleasure, play a role in alleviating anxiety? It's a provocative idea, one that challenges traditional notions of what mental health looks like and how we achieve it. At its core, hedonism is the philosophy that pleasure is the highest good and the ultimate aim of life. Critics often dismiss it as indulgent or shallow, equating it with excess or fleeting gratification. But hedonism, especially in its more mindful and intentional forms, offers a nuanced approach to living well. It's not just about indulgence, it's about recognizing what truly brings joy, satisfaction, and relief from the pressures of life. Modern psychology has already begun to explore the connection between pleasure and mental health. Research into the brain's reward systems reveals that pleasurable activities can release dopamine, a neurotransmitter linked to feelings of happiness and motivation. In small doses, this chemical boost can improve mood, reduce stress, and even promote better mental clarity. But where is the line between using pleasure as a tool for well-being and relying on it as an escape? Let's consider how intentional pleasure-seeking could serve as a counterbalance to anxiety. Anxiety often stems from worry about the future or regret over the past, mental states that pull us out of the present. Hedonism, with its focus on enjoying life's immediate pleasures, can ground us in the here and now. Activities like savoring a favorite meal, listening to music, or spending time with loved ones can provide moments of respite from anxious thoughts, reminding us that joy is accessible even amidst life's uncertainties. The rise of self-care culture offers a practical lens through which to view modern hedonism. Practices like taking long baths, indulging in a favorite hobby, or treating oneself to a night out are framed as essential for maintaining mental health. These actions, small as they may seem, embody the hedonistic principle of seeking pleasure to reduce pain, in this case, the emotional pain of stress and anxiety. However, not all forms of pleasure are created equal. The hedonistic paradox, the idea that chasing pleasure too directly can lead to dissatisfaction, warns us against using pleasure as a superficial fix for deeper issues. For example, binge-watching a TV series or indulging in junk food might offer temporary relief, but without moderation or mindfulness, these activities can leave us feeling worse in the long run. True hedonism, especially in its philosophical sense, requires discernment. It's about choosing pleasures that genuinely enrich our lives and contribute to our overall well-being. As we explore this relationship further, it's worth examining how hedonistic practices intersect with common mental health treatments. Could cultivating pleasure be an effective complement to therapy or medication? And what happens when pleasure-seeking becomes a crutch rather than a cure? To understand how hedonism might support mental health, it's essential to differentiate between fleeting pleasures and sustainable ones. Modern psychology often distinguishes between hedonic pleasure, focused on immediate gratification, and eudaimonic well-being, which emphasizes meaning and purpose. While both play a role in mental health, finding balance between them is key. Hedonic pleasures, like enjoying a favorite dessert or laughing with friends, can act as a reset button for the brain. They provide relief in the short term, offering moments of calm amidst the chaos of anxiety. This aligns with psychological practices like behavioral activation, where individuals are encouraged to engage in enjoyable activities to combat depression or anxiety. The goal isn't escapism, it's to remind the mind that joy is still possible, even during difficult times. On the other hand, eudaimonic well-being focuses on the deeper pleasures derived from pursuing goals, building relationships, or engaging in acts of kindness. These longer-lasting pleasures create a foundation for resilience and fulfillment, reducing the frequency and intensity of anxiety over time. Here, hedonism meets purpose. Pleasure isn't just about indulgence, it becomes a tool for creating a meaningful life. Consider the role of social connection in this equation. Studies have shown that spending time with loved ones is one of the most effective ways to reduce anxiety and increase happiness. Epicurus, often associated with hedonistic philosophy, believed that friendship was one of life's greatest pleasures. Modern research supports this, revealing that strong social bonds can lower cortisol levels, a stress hormone, boost immune function, and provide emotional support during tough times. Yet in today's hyper-connected world, genuine connection can feel elusive. Social media often substitutes quantity for quality, leaving many people feeling more isolated despite constant interaction. This is where intentional hedonism becomes critical. Instead of scrolling through curated feeds, hedonism invites us to seek out experiences that foster real joy, like catching up with a friend over coffee, sharing a meal, or simply being present with others. These moments may seem small, but they carry profound benefits for mental health. Nature is another avenue where hedonistic practices align with anxiety relief. The term ecotherapy refers to the restorative effects of spending time outdoors, whether it's hiking, gardening, or simply sitting in a park. Engaging with nature taps into primal sources of pleasure, calming the mind and reducing the intensity of anxious thoughts. The sensory experiences of nature, the feel of sunlight on skin, the sound of rustling leaves, or the sight of an open horizon, provide a hedonistic antidote to the overstimulation of modern life. However, like any tool, pleasure-seeking must be wielded with intention and balance. When hedonism becomes unbalanced, it can slip into compulsive behavior. This is particularly evident in activities like substance use, gambling, or excessive screen time, where the pursuit of pleasure becomes destructive. These behaviors highlight the importance of moderation and discernment in hedonism, a philosophy that encourages the pursuit of pleasure, but only to the extent that it avoids creating new forms of pain. This raises a critical question. How do we distinguish between pleasures that heal and those that harm? As we explore this further, we'll look at strategies for integrating intentional pleasure into mental health practices and avoiding the pitfalls of excessive indulgence. The distinction between healing and harmful pleasures lies in intention and self-awareness. When we approach pleasure with mindfulness, we can transform it into a powerful tool for managing anxiety and enhancing mental health. However, when pursued indiscriminately or as an escape from underlying issues, it can lead to a cycle of temporary highs and deeper lows. One of the most effective ways to integrate hedonism into mental health practices is through mindful pleasure-seeking. This involves fully engaging with pleasurable activities in the present moment, free from guilt or distraction. For instance, instead of mindlessly eating comfort food while scrolling on your phone, mindful hedonism invites you to savor the flavors, textures, and aromas of your meal. This intentional focus not only heightens the pleasure of the experience, but also trains the brain to stay present, counteracting the ruminative tendencies of anxiety. Mindfulness practices, often associated with meditation, pair beautifully with hedonistic principles. The act of slowing down, observing the senses, and appreciating simple joys aligns with both philosophies. Even small rituals, like brewing tea, lighting a candle, or listening to calming music, can become acts of mindful hedonism when approached with intentionality. Hedonism also intersects with gratitude, a practice shown to have profound effects on mental health. Gratitude encourages us to reflect on the pleasures we already have, rather than constantly chasing new ones. By combining the two, we create a cycle of contentment. Hedonism helps us experience joy, and gratitude helps us sustain it. Writing down 3 things you're grateful for at the end of the day can be a simple yet transformative practice, shifting focus away from anxiety and toward abundance. The idea of micro-pleasures offers another way to bring hedonism into everyday life. These are small, accessible moments of joy that don't require excessive effort or resources. A warm shower, a cozy blanket, a walk in the fresh air. These tiny acts may seem insignificant, but they have the power to reset the mind and reduce the intensity of anxious thoughts. Recognizing and savoring these micro-pleasures cultivates a mindset that prioritizes well-being without over-reliance on grand gestures or material indulgences. However, it's important to address the potential pitfalls of pleasure-seeking. When hedonism becomes a form of avoidance, it can exacerbate anxiety rather than alleviate it. For example, using social media, shopping, or binge-watching as distractions might provide short-term relief, but fail to address the root causes of stress. Over time, this avoidance can create a feedback loop where the original problem persists or worsens, requiring even more escapism to cope. This is where balance becomes crucial. Sustainable hedonism involves seeking pleasures that complement long-term goals rather than conflicting with them. For instance, physical exercise is a form of hedonism that not only provides immediate mood boosts through endorphin release, but also supports long-term health. Creative activities like painting, writing, or playing music offer similar benefits, providing both immediate joy and a sense of accomplishment. Social connection also requires balance. While spending time with loved ones can reduce anxiety, overcommitting to social obligations or relying too heavily on external validation can backfire. Hedonism reminds us to prioritize quality over quantity, focusing on relationships that truly nourish us. As we continue exploring hedonism's role in mental health, we'll delve into practical strategies for creating a balanced approach that integrates pleasure into daily life without falling into excess or avoidance. To harness the benefits of hedonism for mental health, it's essential to approach pleasure-seeking as a deliberate and sustainable practice. This means incorporating pleasures into daily life in ways that support long-term well-being, rather than chasing fleeting highs or ignoring underlying challenges. Let's explore how to craft a balanced and intentional approach to hedonism for reducing anxiety and improving overall mental health. 1. Prioritize pleasures that align with your values. Hedonism becomes most effective when it reflects your personal values and goals. For instance, if health and well-being are important to you, engaging in activities like yoga, cooking nutritious meals, or hiking can provide both immediate joy and long-term benefits. Similarly, if creativity is a core value, channeling your energy into painting, writing, or photography can bring a sense of fulfillment that goes beyond surface-level gratification. This approach ensures that the pleasures you pursue contribute to a deeper sense of purpose, rather than acting as mere distractions. Anxiety often stems from feeling unaligned with your goals or overwhelmed by conflicting demands. Intentional hedonism helps narrow your focus to what truly matters, providing clarity and peace of mind. 2. Schedule time for pleasure. In today's busy world, pleasure often takes a back seat to obligations and responsibilities. Yet scheduling time for enjoyable activities can significantly reduce stress and anxiety. Treat these moments as non-negotiable appointments with yourself. Whether it's a weekly movie night, a daily walk in the park, or a monthly dinner with friends, committing to regular pleasure-seeking rituals helps you maintain balance and avoid burnout. Even 5 to 10 minutes a day can make a difference. A short meditation, reading a favorite book, or sipping tea mindfully can create a sense of calm and recharge your mental energy. By embedding these small pleasures into your routine, you build a foundation for resilience that supports you during more challenging times. 3. Balance. Immediate gratification with long-term fulfillment. Not all pleasures are created equal. Hedonism encourages us to seek joy, but it also requires discernment about which pleasures serve us best. For example, spending hours scrolling through social media might feel satisfying in the moment, but leave you feeling disconnected or anxious afterward. On the other hand, engaging in hobbies, exercising, or nurturing relationships often provides deeper and more lasting gratification. One way to strike this balance is by asking yourself 2 questions before pursuing a pleasure. Will this activity bring me joy right now? Will it still feel good afterward? If the answer to both questions is yes, it's likely a healthy and sustainable pleasure. This reflective approach prevents impulsive decisions that might offer short-term relief at the cost of long-term well-being. 4. Use hedonism to reframe anxiety. Anxiety often thrives on negative thought patterns and an overemphasis on what could go wrong. Hedonism, by contrast, invites us to focus on what's good, enjoyable, and rewarding in the present moment. By shifting your mental energy toward pleasure, you can counteract the spiral of worry that fuels anxiety. For instance, the next time you feel overwhelmed, try grounding yourself with a simple pleasure. Light a scented candle, listen to your favorite music, or take a warm shower. These small acts remind your brain that positive experiences are always within reach, creating a sense of control and empowerment in the face of anxious thoughts. 5. Pair hedonism with self-awareness. The most effective form of hedonism is one that's paired with introspection. Take time to reflect on what types of pleasure genuinely fulfill you versus those that leave you feeling drained or empty. Keeping a journal can help you identify patterns, allowing you to fine-tune your approach to pleasure-seeking. Self-awareness also prevents overindulgence. While it's tempting to use pleasures like food, alcohol, or shopping to escape discomfort, hedonism at its best is about moderation. By staying mindful of your intentions, you can enjoy life's pleasures without falling into excess or avoidance. 6. Seek help when needed. Finally, it's important to acknowledge that while pleasure-seeking can be a valuable tool for managing anxiety, it's not a substitute for professional help. For those experiencing chronic anxiety or other mental health challenges, working with a therapist can provide deeper insights and strategies. A balanced approach might combine hedonistic practices with evidence-based treatments like cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, medication, or mindfulness techniques. In the end, hedonism and mental health aren't opposing forces. They're complementary. By embracing intentional pleasure, we can create a life that feels rich, joyful, and meaningful, even in the face of anxiety. The key lies in balance, seeking pleasures that nourish the mind and body, aligning our actions with our values, and staying mindful of our needs. In a world that often prioritizes productivity and perfection, hedonism offers a refreshing reminder to slow down and savor life. It teaches us that happiness isn't found in grand achievements or relentless striving. It's in the small, everyday moments of joy that connect us to ourselves and the world around us. By embracing this philosophy, we can build not only a more pleasurable life, but also a healthier, more resilient mind.